I'm gonna be for real with you guys. Shred is dead. And honestly, that might be true for most Druid builds. After absolutely tearing it up with my Cataclysm build, I figured why not make some other builds for people, because I know people like a variety. So I hopped on Shred because that's what people wanted. So my gear is not perfect, and I haven't taken the time to truly optimize the build, but let me show you how close I am to really being maxed out. For example, I got super lucky and got my first ever perfect item. And earlier in the season, I got equally lucky and got my first ever 4GA item. My amulet is kind of trash, and I'm missing a good chunk of damage from this, but we're talking more like 50% damage, which is not enough to make up for it. The rest of my items are pretty solid, and they at least have the right stats. Not to mention I'm sitting on 3 mythic items. So I'm going to take this into a Pit 101, which is what I consider the baseline of what a good build should be able to clear in about 2 minutes. As you can see, this is not doing too much. And we're sitting on maximum attack speed, maximum movement speed, 100% crit rate, really solid gear, nearly maxed aspects, and there's only a few adjustments that I could make that would potentially be stronger than this. For example, if I wanted a more annoying build, I could go with Wild Heart Hunger and probably get some more damage out of it, but then I'd be shapeshifting and I'd lose DPS on the shapeshifting time, and that's not ideal. So you can see after killing just the first group of enemies, I'm already behind on my time for a Pit 101. That's pretty bad. The average player is not going to have their build optimized even close to as much as this. So long story short, I will not be recommending Shred for Season 7. However, if you are adamant about playing Shred, it can clear surface level content, meaning pretty much anything in Torment 4, but you're not going to be turning any heads, and you sure as heck are not going to be clearing high pit levels. To give you an idea of how bad it is, let's look at the pit leaderboard. Now keep in mind that this isn't like a perfect leaderboard, this is only user submitted stuff. For example, I cleared a Pit 138 with my Cataclysm build, and I didn't submit my thing here so you wouldn't see me in the list. But this should give you a pretty good idea of where different builds are at. So if we look at the list, we have to scroll all the way down until 126 before we see our first build that's not Cataclysm. And this is a Lacerate build, so it's also an ultimate build. And here you can see a couple of different Lacerate builds, but it's still mostly Cataclysm. You don't really start seeing any other builds until about 114. Here you can see a companion build, and in general, you're not really seeing anything else besides Cataclysm over tier 100. So while it is possible that builds can clear over tier 100, the average player will never see anything higher than tier 100 unless they're playing Cataclysm or Lacerate. And I'm not sure about this, but somebody said the Lacerate was nerfed and I haven't even gotten onto it yet. So Druid is basically a one build class at the moment. Now I'm still going to move to some other builds and try them out just so I can make sure and give you guys some good info, but I have a sneaking suspicion that almost nothing is going to be doing much more than tier 100 to tier 110. I don't have much more to add to this video, but in the meantime, if you want a good build, check out my Cataclysm build and keep your eyes out for my next videos. And again, if you're interested in Shred regardless of how good it is, you can find my written guide in the link underneath the video. Here's me clearing a Pit 90 so you can see what it's like.
Subscribe to Scream Heart. He's more than an old fart. He makes lots of fun builds. I promise his streams chill. He should probably be faster. Come watch this disaster.